Today on this Warhammer 40K competitive battle report, we have the Necron Awakened Dynasty versus the Ork Tactical Brigade. So if you're wondering how this match went, how these two armies match up against each other, you're going to want to stick around because we're going to take this 3-hour game, condense it into 20 minutes, give you what worked, what didn't work, what we learned, and really just the greatest lessons. So if that's something that interests you, stick around. And let's get into it, all right? So we have Scorched Earth today. We have a WTC layout. You probably notice here it looks a little more dense than usual, and that is why. So we got a lot more footprints on the table. And reason why we're on WTC because we have a team tournament coming up. So practicing some different stuff here and what to run. So we do have Scorched Earth, WTC Light, and Hammer and Anvil deployment. And as always, I'm going to flip over to the list here. So if you guys want to pause the video and or screenshot this, there you go. And let's flip over to the game. All right. So very good game against our fellow teammate Ken, and this is going to be a really good one to talk about. So this is more or less our deployment here. So we have essentially, all of our warriors stringed out here, kind of creating this wall. We have, Scorpex all staged behind here, and then it's hard to see, but we have a unit of flayed ones behind here. That's why I don't really like using these WTC walls, because it's hard for you guys to see like what potentially could be back here, but I'll do my best to do that when it matters. So the idea is the flayed ones have a nice pocket here, not only to screen this area over here, but if he does want to move Gretchen or something on here turn one, you have a counter threat with these flayed ones, and they also serve a great containment turn one as well if I need to. So we have the Locust Lord running solo over here. He's the one with the 4-up Feel No Pain or the Bond. I do like running him solo in this list because, as you're going to find, he can literally just hold a flank by himself. He's fantastic. And then we're mainly just putting the warriors as a wall here. So if he wants to just get aggressive and charge, I want him to hit the warriors or the Xeris first. So we can maximize our synergies with the Ghost Ark and the Reanimator that we've talked about in previous videos. All right, so he is going to get first turn. He's going to get Bring It Down and no prisoners. Pretty big dud, not going to lie. You don't usually want to draw 2 double kill secondaries turn 1. So he does cycle it, and then he also gets Cull the Horde, which is also rough because that would mean he has to kill the warriors. I will say in my playtesting that this army, overall, it seems to do a very good job at denying my opponent's secondaries, which you're going to see battle reports coming up of that being the case, just because they can't cycle Cull, or they can, but they have to spend a CP for it. And the idea with this list is you're going to have a lot of the warriors moving towards the center, so it makes it very hard for them to score area denial a lot of times, cleanse, secure no man's land, and a lot of those kill secondaries because I'm not really exposing a lot early, which you're going to see here. So he's going to go first, and let's see how he stages up here. And you're going to see this. This is pretty much his first turn, and this is my cool hand right here. So this is his first turn, so he's staging up Gretchen. He's moving all of these trucks up on the point, and he's more or less like, all right, like, what do you want to do about it? What do you want to do about it? So let me back up here so my hand's like not in the way. So this is more or less first turn. He's going to get a 0 on secondary. He's going to pass it over to me. My first turn, I draw Containment and Storm Hostile, so a super clutch pull turn 1, and what we talked about as far as like with the flayed ones, it gives me options. I also pre-measured the Scorpec Lord to make sure if he moved 8 inches, he could get here for a containment. So what you're going to see is Scorpec Lord's going to move over here, contain for 1, and then we're going to get the hex mark out here. He's going to go right here and contain for 2. And Storm Hostile is going to be pretty easy because he just put like 2 OC or 4 OC on this objective. And so all I have to do is just basically just move these warriors because they auto advance 6. So they're moving 11 inches just to get on this point. So let's fast forward here to bottom of turn 1 and show you more or less what it looks like here. So Um, this is the combo with the warriors like we talked about. So essentially what we're doing is we're creating this V pattern here, and we're walling off Xeris as well because he's a key piece in this list where, you know, you don't want to just like throw him away for nothing. So we're getting essentially 15 OC on this objective, 6 OC on this objective, and you're just telling your opponent like, hey, what do you want to do about it? And you're forcing them to go after the warriors. Like usually turn one, that's really the only thing that you're exposing. And you kind of put your opponent in this really weird situation because they're like, well, I could go after this side, but I know you're going to pull and just reanimate over here, or vice versa. They could go after this side and I just reanimate a ton over here. And so he was like, all right, well, you know what? Let's just try it. Let's just say, all right, we ball. Let's just go Wah turn 2 and let's do this. So turn 2, top of 2, he's going to go into Wah. He's going to get a 10 on primary. Now he's going to hold this one and he's going to hold this one. And he's just going to full send it. So we're going to fast forward here and just see how everything is placed. So this is more or less before the shooting phase. So he more or less gets everything out. You know, Gretchen are moving up. Flash Gits are getting out. Tank Buses are getting out. The Hammer guys are getting out. And he's getting super aggressive with it upfield. Now, what is pretty nice is that he's able to throw all those bomb squigs. So he was able to kill, I think it was like 9 warriors just off the bomb squigs alone. Now, this was one slight error on my part is in this turn, as was happening against good players, I don't know if I had the movement for it. I think I did, but being able to just shift these warriors over just slightly more, so that way it's in an annoying spot where he can't do what he did in terms of funneling these guys through here and staying outside of this. If I zoom in here, just staying outside of this 1-inch range here. So I intentionally tried to keep the warriors here, and this is what I'm talking about with these tricks, is I'm keeping these 2 warriors here. Everything is out of coherency, but you're preventing him from moving the trucks through this point. So if I would have shifted this over here, it would have also prevented like all of these assets here from moving up here, which was like not good. So that was like a slight error there on my part, and then he's shifting everything else up. So he pulls all the bomb squigs, you know, he's getting some of the warriors down. And then towards the end of my turn, as you can see here, we're just going to pop our Ghost Arc and our Resorb at the end, and we basically just bring the entire unit back. And then he has all of these resources right here ready for my turn on the clapback. The Scorpex, if they're ready. They're ready to do some damage, all right? So he moves up. He holds on to no prisoners, and he has area denial. So I just accepted. I'm like, hey, it's not worth losing the warriors right now. I got him on the back foot as far as with this wall. Let's just give him area denial and call it good. So that's exactly what we do. So you're going to see here, we pull all the warriors back. He's going to charge in and hit here. And he swings. We bring in Oricon and the Overlord, as you're going to see here. Let me just fast forward. You see how this is sequenced out. And this is more or less the clapback. So we're going to move up the Oricon. Scorpec Lord's going to heroic intervene here to kill this resource and potentially tag the Gretchen here. These Scorpecs go in, or the Flash Gits come in, and unfortunately, oh man, it was rough, dude. He got Xeris down to 1 freaking wound, and he got these, like, so many things just down to 1 wound. So he ended up not getting no prisoners in round 2 and only got area denial, which was pretty huge. And then so going into my turn, we're only going to get a 5 on primary. So I was like super good. He would just like hardcore pressed here and was like, hey, trying to jam me in my deployment zone. And like, what do you want to do about it? And now it's really just a damage test. Can I push my way out of this? And I really think that I can. So going into my turn, you see here we cleared this unit in his turn and the reanimator, and then cleaned up a good amount of this and a good amount of this. So we are so going into my turn, bottom of 2, we're going to get Secure No Man's Land, Behind Enemy Lines, which I cycle for a CP, and we get Engage on all fronts. Now, Secure No Man's Land, We could definitely get it here. It's going to be tricky to get it here this turn because he has me boxed in right here. And I don't know if I can kill enough to get through this. I don't really have a way to get through, which is okay. I like looking at this at bottom of 2. I know I'm going to kill a lot of his army this turn, and I think I can score really strong in the late game and probably push this to a victory. So going into my turn, we're basically just going to focus on killing as much as we can. So we're gonna charge the flayed ones in here, kill this resource. We're gonna finish this off. We're gonna kill this unit, and we're gonna hopefully kill this unit and whittle this down. And so basically, at the top of turn 3, I mean, this is like, I mean, he's and this unit as well. So the top of turn 3, ideally, all he's gonna have is just this left, and hopefully most of this is all gone. Is the plan. So fast forwarding here. You're going to see that more or less play out. So this is on here. There's 2 guys left here. These guys are there. I think he saved well there, or maybe just didn't have quite enough shots like to get rid of them. But everything went more or less according to plan. And then we have the flayed ones here. We shifted these Scorpex back because I didn't need a reason for him to just like shoot them for free because they would have just been like flat-footed like in the center here. I guess in hindsight, I probably could have, like a smarter play probably was maybe just to put them right here in hindsight based on where they were now that like looking at this. And this is why I love doing these battle reports because they help you and they also help me at the same time, which is great. So that probably would have actually been a better play as me falling back over here. Oh, no, because I was worried about them coming through, so never mind. Yeah, they could have came through here and then fired. So yeah, that was the right call. So they're falling back here. Just so I know, because he has to go after the flayed ones. So I know some unit has to come up here and deny this. So then they're just going to get another clap back that next turn on the trade. And he's going to get on turn 3. He's going to get a 15 on primary because he is going to burn this one at the end of my turn. And then he's going to also hold these 2. Okay. So good primary turn for him. He's scoring really good on primary. And he's going to have no prisoners again, and he gets marked for death, which he cycles, and he gets sabotage. So he's going to sabotage like from one of these trucks that I can't interact with. And then finally, no prisoners definitely happens. So he cleans up the flayed ones. He cleans up a Scorpec unit right here, which is going to give him the 4 points. And then he passes it over to me. So you're going to see that play out here. And this is basically what the top of 3 looks like going into the bottom of 3, which I'm going to get, again, a 5 on primary because he rushes this objective over here. So super good. And I get defend stronghold and overwhelming force. So pretty easy. We're going to clean up these 2 resources here. That's going to give us our 5. And then just there's no way he's going to be able to interact with this and call it good. So this turn, basically, flayed ones are dead at this point. Let's see, he charges in. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, so that's probably, I think, what the end of, sorry, top of turn 3 looks like. So we're going to shift these Emetics over. They're going to fire downfield here. He does a good job of still keeping me tagged up with the Warriors here. And I couldn't quite, I think, get this this truck out of the way here. And so going into my turn, we're basically just going to try to kill this resource, and then we're trying to reanimate the Warriors at the end of my turn, so that way when I fall back, I can still get Warriors on this point here, which you're going to see here in a second. So this is the power of the Warriors. Like normally, if I move 5 inches, it would have only gotten them to here, but because I was able to reanimate at the end of the turn because he did damage, and then at the start of my turn before the fallback, because it happens in the command phase, it gives you that extra movement here to then get on the objective here. And then all of a sudden, I have 9 OC on there from the fallback versus 0. Okay. So we put 9 OC on the objective. We're going to kill this resource and hold it. And then he does a really good job of kind of like tying me up here with Xeris and like these move blocks to make it really hard to interact with the center here. So that was really good on him. And then classic, what I told you guys, I've been kind of forgetting about in this game, but Scorpec Lord, for Feel No Pain, holding down the whole flank, man. Like he's just chilling there, just doing his thing, killed the flash gets. Now he's going after the truck and just holding it down. So Scorpex charging here, clean up the rest of this unit. We had to bring in the rest of our reserves because I didn't really have anything to do with in this game. Kind of weird, at least on Search and Destroy. So we're just using them to try to clean up this tank buster unit right here, and then same thing with the hex mark here, and then this unit's doing chip damage here, and then the Scorpex just clean them up. So we're going to see that play out here. And then the Scorpex clean up, and then on the consolidate, we tag the tank busters right here, which is super strong. Okay. So now in his turn, this is where it gets good. So he basically needs to flood this point with OC to try to hold me to a 5, and he also has Storm Hostile objective, which is huge. So in his turn 4, he's going to get a 10 on primary again. He's going to get Defend Stronghold and Storm Hostile. So he's going to defend. I have no way to interact with this objective, and he needs to storm this. This is the only one that he can storm. All right. So going into his turn, he's going to blitz up his resources here, and he's going to charge in. Okay. And then, so he's going to charge in, and this is where it gets like really technical, because he has multiple units in here that he needs to activate. And he's also trying to prevent me from reanimating over here on the point. So it gets really tricky because of the fact that, like, if I start killing models here, that's going to leave space. It gets really weird really fast. But long story short, it's just too hard to deny. I mean, it's so he shifts over. We're able to kill enough, long story short, and get these guys on the objective with reanimate. And we ended up having like 20 OC on there, I think, at the end of the turn. So we ended up denying Storm Hostile and then still held the point going into my turn. So my turn 4, we get a 10 on primary. We get Extend Battle Lines for 5. And then we get Establish Locus for 2 with the Scorpec going over here and doing the Locus. And as you can see here, look at the Scorpec Lord, man. Just holding this entire flank the entire game. And then basically at this point, we're just falling back with the warriors. We're going to kill all these resources here. And then, so you're going to see that play out here. And then going into his turn, he's going to get only a 5 on primary because he only holds this objective. And he's going to get Cleanse and behind enemy lines. He ends up I try to overwatch the vehicle, but he falls back here. Behind enemy lines here, and then he's able to cleanse this center objective, I think, if I remember right. Yeah, so he's able to cleanse that one and then call it good. And then on my turn, we're going to hold 2 objectives and then burn one at the end for the 15. And then we get Sabotage and no prisoners, so we're going to kill this resource, and the guys inside, and then that is the game. So we finish it up 12-8, victory to the Crons, or 82-70 if you're doing singles. And overall, I mean, felt really good. Tough to say if Wah turn 2 was the right call. I think he played it really well in terms of like the strategy of just kind of jamming me in my deployment zone. And not letting me get out, because I think if he waited one more turn and letting the warriors like really set up, I think I would have definitely had probably like a 40 or 45 on primary. So I think by pushing me early, it really kept that primary low. You know, I think if a couple maybe other tweaks on his side, I think maybe you can pull out a dub on here, and maybe vice versa. So, but anyways, excellent game. Excellent report showing the power of Awakened and these warriors and some of the tricks you can do. And if you stayed around this long, I appreciate you. I'm going to link 2 videos up top. And until the next one, peace.